Welcome, everyone. My name is Jakob Seeger. I'm one of the co-founders of Lemonade Social. We're a Web3 social and community and events platform. And yeah, I'm here today to introduce the network state protocol. We have been working on this for more than a year now, kind of like isolated in silence. And especially my co-founder, KC, who's based out of India, he has been digging many holes, went down many different rabbit holes to actually come up with the network state protocol thesis, and that's what I'm going to present today. Unfortunately, he cannot be here today. He would have been much, much better in presenting this, but due to a family emergency, he couldn't make it. I also want to highlight my second co-founder, Chris, who's based out of Netherlands. He's basically the head behind of like building and creating all the code and the smart contracts. So shout out also to him. Okay, so first, United Networks. So first, basically we reached a stage in technology and collective behavior where geography is not really important anymore to actually launch countries. Nowadays, you can launch digital countries super easily, and it's basically a collective of many different smaller digital communities which are aligned on vision and mission. That's important. Secondly, what we need to enable for all of these digital communities is we need to enable them for cooperation. So you have many different digital communities across the world, but we really need to align with them, and we need to give them the right tools and frameworks so they can actually start collaborating and cooperating together to actually launch network states and digital countries. And third and lastly, it's really important to give them the ability to launch their own network states, again, by providing the right tools and to make it completely inclusive. So everyone can actually start launching digital nations and network states. This is a quote from Lex Sokolin, and he put it quite well, I think, because we have been building in the Web3 space now over more than a decade now, right? And we have built really robust engines and blockchains and platforms and ecosystems, but everything is quite isolated. And this is really a call for collective action to come together to really make a change. The network state protocol. It's a decentralized cooperation framework for communities and countries. And obviously, there's no one better to actually have a definition for the network state than Balaji. He's obviously like a legend in the whole space, super credible. And his definition is a highly aligned community with the capacity for collective action. So taking this capacity and moral innovation and virtual capital and combine this on a consensus decision making and a moral vision is creating the network state. So what we have been coming up with is 4 pillars to turn a group chat into a network state. And I'm walking you through the 4 different pillars. The first pillar is identity. Identity is the foundation of any digital community. So we're going to launch passports, which everyone is completely owning and they're on-chain, so no one actually can take away these identities from these communities. And more importantly, it's really important to know anyone within a digital community and to identify them on their identities. So we created SSIDs, multi-chain passports, which are completely multi-chain, permissionless, customizable, upgradable, and also inclusive, which means that anyone can afford these passports to also integrate like diversity into this protocol. These passports are completely customizable, so you can use pretty much any of your existing PFPs. You can use like a Ready Player Me avatar, but you can also obviously use other different images for it. For the username, it's also a very individual username. You can either use your existing usernames from ENS domain, your Space ID, Lens protocol, whatever you already have, you can integrate and customize your passport for this. And also regarding the decentralized timeline, so really show who you actually are in this space. Our passports, as mentioned, are multi-chain. we created a base layer which is built on Moonbeam, because Moonbeam has actually the best finality between all of these different blockchains. And we are using XLR and also Chainlink CCIP for on-chain price feeds for people to actually come together and be able to purchase these passports. And moreover, again, it's very inclusive because you as an end user, you can actually choose on which of these blockchains your passport should be. You can purchase your passports in any cryptocurrency, also in fiat, by providing different providers. You can earn your passport. That's also what I meant with inclusivity, right? So in certain parts of the world, maybe you don't have $150, but if you actually refer other citizens, you can easily earn your passport and your identity. And same with crowdfunding. If you already have an existing community and you cannot come up with the funds, you can just basically pull in this community and crowdfund your passports together. Second pillar, which is really important, is information. Nowadays, there is a lot of misinformation, censored information. There are biased algorithms on social networks. There are different AI bots, right, which are providing lots of content nowadays as well. But part of a community, part for communication and for these communities, it's really important to have a trusted source of information for this. And the solution for this, what we came up with and what we integrated into protocol is Matrix Protocol, which is an open source messaging service, kind of like think of a decentralized Slack, which you can use inside of your community to actually start communication. You can also obviously token gate this, and it's censor resistant. Then we have been building Lemonade over the last 4 to 5 years, and we have built a lot of different features to actually host events, virtual events, and also in real life events. And this is what we have seen by just talking to so many DAOs and different protocols in the space. Actually, there's a lack of engagement in these decentralized autonomous organizations. So this is the solution which you can use just on one platform to really engage your existing community. Knowledge bases are powered by R-Wave. So how this basically works is any community member can come in and provide a knowledge base of the community. They need to stake tokens for it. And if this knowledge base or if this content is good, then it just obviously stays. And yeah, it's completely open source and everyone can have access to it. But at the same time, community members can actually come in and flag different content. And if that content actually gets flagged and approved by the community, then the initial staker of tokens, they will lose, obviously, tokens. So it's kind of like a self-managing and monitoring community where they really make sure that the information about their community and their network state is truly true. Then we also integrated AI agents. Obviously, this is just it would be stupid not to do it. Community members can just start creating their own AI bots, which helps to engage and also monitor these communities, and obviously just save a lot of time and money for doing this. So everyone can also start building their own AI bots and provide it for different communities and actually earn tokens for this as well. Analytics and integrations. All different companies, sports teams are using analytics, but not many communities are actually using analytics. So these are just a lot of different tools which we are integrating to provide really important analytics to these communities, and which is important, privacy comes first for all of these analytics. The third pillar is money. That's kind of like where the fun happens. So now you have identified, you have your identity, you have identified on what part of a community you want to be part of. You have a communication tool and trusted information. And now money, which gives you basically the opportunity to pull in money and then to actually also spend it very transparently on the vision and needs of this community. So what we have done is we integrated Genosis safes, which gives every digital community the possibility to pull in funds, to manage them through Genosis safes, and to have a multi-sig integrated so that the majority of these community members can actually vote how to spend this money very transparently. Commerce, it's really important, obviously, for these network states and digital communities, once you have created them and you're completely aligned again on vision and mission, to also generate more funds even on top of it. So we have integrated different e-commerce solutions. You can buy, sell NFTs, and yeah, generate more and more revenue to spend aligned with the vision. We're providing for all of these users custodial wallets, which makes it super easy and seamless for anyone who's actually not in the crypto space and doesn't have a wallet. They can just attend events, they can start communicating, they can just start chatting with different communities and check out how it works, but they don't actually need like their own wallet for it. So we cover all the gas fees, and that's kind of like their entry point to enter this whole space. But we're also working on a non-custodial wallet, also on top of Genosis Safe, which basically gives you true ownership of your funds. Last point, which is also really important, is power. So what I mentioned is all of these different communities, right? They potentially have different goals and visions, and it really depends the size of it, right? So every different community potentially has very different models how to govern actually their communities. So we don't want to put like one system for each of these communities. You actually need to self-govern your own communities. However, we came up with a model which makes it really easy and plug and play depending on the size. If you are like a crew of just 5 people, 5 friends coming together, or if you're actually, for example, also a town of like maybe 250 people and more. So what's important to mention here is the horizontal and vertical separation of power, which means that small minorities inside of these communities can also have a vote and a say into the governance, because that's what you actually want, right? Not everyone starts straight away with a country. You actually want also these minorities be represented in the union. So this is the decentralized governance of the legislature, executive, judiciary, and reserve. And on the bottom, you see the funds and how they are flowing into the different treasuries. So the legislature are actually the people who are using the protocol, right? These are the community builders. And they have 30% of the whole treasury to actually spend it on growing these communities. Executive are the actual builders, right? Smart contract builders, like the different blockchain partners, ecosystem partners, who are really empowering this protocol and keep building and using these funds to hire more people and to also get grants for developers. Judiciary is the legal, right? So to handle between basically the people and the government and any disputes, and to also like amend the constitution if it needs to actually be changed. And then the reserve, the governments can vote on how to actually use this reserve. 5% will be staked on ETH, and 5% will be staked on DOT, and then 10% will be staked on different other cryptocurrencies. 4 steps, easy to launch your own nation state. I'm gonna skip through this very, very fast. So it's 4 steps. Create your own lemonade stand, communicate, pull in your community, collaborate with many different digital communities across the world, and then celebrate to actually create digital countries across the world. This slide is very important for us because it's very important to know that we're not building this alone. We started building this, but we're actually building this in collaboration with many different ecosystem partners. These are literally just a few. There are more than 20 blockchains coming on board and like collaborating on that. And this is also like how I kind of like want to finish that presentation. What we are building, the network state protocol, is an open source public good. And we're really asking for help, for collaboration. So everyone who's in the space, who's good in governance structures, treasury management, whatever it is, like we really want different people to come in and actually collaborate with us to really make a change in the world. You can scan this QR code, you will land on our website, which we have launched last week, and you can also reach out to my email address. And yeah, thank you so much for paying attention.